podcast where we talk all things Army. And I'm your host, Sarnt Cruz, along with my co host, Sarnt Bruner. Bruner, what is going on?
Oh, living the dream in Iowa. Try not to get blown away with the corn or sucked away by a tornado.
Is that bad in Iowa?
It got a little dicey here the past couple weeks.
Did it? What?
Yeah.
Whoa. I didn't know that. Like, you have not said that at all.
No, it was hot and then it got rainy and cloudy and there was one night we were supposed to have like 70-mile-an-hour winds and tornadoes and it got dicey, real dicey.
Interesting. Oh, well, we, what was it, 2 months ago, maybe? Month and a half? At least a month ago, for sure. We had the tornado. I'm going to get my roof redone, being that it kind of messed up a little bit. Um, but yeah, it was rough over here. Like I didn't get much, to be honest with you. But if I go a road up, all those people there, I'm talking about that the inside of the houses are being taken out.
Oh God.
They definitely have more than 50, $60,000 worth of damage, easy.
It's been a heck of a year for the weather.
Yeah, I know. You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of living through what is called world events. This we've never seen this before. Events. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I'm not gonna lie, it's getting annoying.
It all happened when they shot that gorilla.
Harambe.
Yep. It all started with Harambe.
Oh shit. But yeah, so mainly we're gonna be talking about the pay raise and where it started to where we're at and what's potentially gonna happen. And obviously our thoughts and opinions.
Oh God.
But before we do that, what you been up to this summer? Because summer's done. Summer vacation is done. Wednesday, kids go back to school. That's
Really?
a fact over here. Your kid's not
Oh
going
shit.
back to school?
Well, he's 3, so we ain't there yet.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. No, so my oldest son came for the summer, had him for 6 weeks. We ran around all over Iowa. I think we went to the John Deere Museum. We went to the Children's Science Museum down in Des Moines. There's a zoo down there. So had him for 6 weeks, and that flew by like way too fast. Felt like he showed up one day and he was gone like 3 days later.
Mm.
Um, Other than that, I mean, I'm just out here trying to put people in the army. Put them in boots. Um, Got the Iowa State Fair going on right now. That's interesting. It's one of the biggest fairs in the country.
Is it?
Oh yeah, it's
Is
it's huge.
is it kind of like that Dallas fair with the big freaking cowboy?
Sorta,
This
yeah,
Dallas State Fair.
yeah. But it's huge. So we're down there. We got a booth set up. Trying to put people in the army. Um, got the deadlift bars out. Watching people pick up 310, doing the male max and 220 for the women's max.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's fun. It's been cool. It's a great experience.
So I guess I mean we can veer off on that. And how is recruiting going? Let's talk about recruiting real fast before we get into actual subject, being that you mentioned it.
Bro, it's the summer, man. So during the school year is easy because the target demographic, the 17 18 year old, the high school juniors, the high school seniors, they're all trapped in class, so it's easy to get in front of them, talk to them about the great things they can do in the army. Bro, when the summer hit, they were gone. I don't know where in the hell they went, but they went somewhere. Hard to find. I mean, it's different. Now it's easier to hit up kids, texting them, calling them, social media because they're not in school. Um, but other than that, I mean, it's different. It's slowed down. Um, but I mean, school year's about to kick off, so we're about to go back into overdrive.
I guess the question is because a while back ago, I made I made a video about the recruiters, and I read that whole shebang, the article, the message that
601-1.
yes sir, recruiters, you're gonna be there, and if you don't make it, the quota every other month or whatever. Oh, the monthly quota, then you have 3 months, or and then if you don't make it after that, then you go back to the unit. The premise, my thought process was you get sent back to a unit with a, in best case scenario, watered down NCOER versus a completely negative NCOER. Then how's that going?
So you're not gonna get sent back with a negative NCOER.
Okay,
It's just not. They're gonna do a change of rater because obviously you're changing raters, right?
correct.
Um, it's not that you did bad, right? Like in our office, our best recruiter, she's at 17 contracts for the year. Um,
More than one a month.
yeah. Um, she hasn't put somebody in the army like last month, or she didn't do somebody, I don't know, whatever, right? I mean, it comes and it goes. Like, just because you get separated from USREC doesn't mean you're leaving with a bad NCOR.
Okay.
It just means you're an ineffective recruiter. You can leave with a good NCOR being an ineffective recruiter.
Okay.
This isn't everybody's cup of tea. Like, if you're an introvert, like, good luck. Like, you're going to be uncomfortable all the time because you got to get out and talk to people. Like, you have to approach people. Like, you can't be all like, oh, I'm an introvert, I don't like talking to people. Well, then you're going to be wondering why you're not putting people in the army. And some people just don't have those communication skills. They're not good at it. Doesn't mean you're leaving with a bad NCOR. It just means you're an ineffective recruiter. So you can leave with a top block NCOR. You just weren't what USREC needed. But I mean, I'm not worried about it. Like I said, it's just one of those things. You just put one foot in front of the other and keep trying to find people to put in the army. Like, it's not a hard job. It is a hard job, but it's not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. But one thing about you is that you can talk to people. You know what I mean? So at worst case scenario, you're gonna come out with a lead or two, at least.
Bro, you just, a worst case scenario, I just divulged to walking around town shouting at people. Like, I don't know how many times I've been driving down the road and there's that dude standing out there at that fucking stop sign in a construction zone.
Uh-huh.
Bro, you hit that goddamn window button, that window rolls down. Hey man, you want to quit standing out here on the side of the road with a freaking stop sign and join the army and do something with yourself? Like, he probably gonna say no because that dude's making like $45 an hour standing there. But you never know. I mean, maybe that dude, I don't know. You just never know. Maybe it's his day where he's like, fuck his job. I don't want to be here no more. The standing here is boring. And now you gave him his out.
Fair
So
enough. I
you
mean,
just got go
at
for it.
worst case scenario, they're gonna know somebody, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario is they don't know anybody. Halfway in the middle of the road, they don't want to do it, but they know somebody.
Yep.
Best case scenario is they're like, oh yeah, fuck it. Let me get that business card.
Speaking of business card, I got the best business card the most interesting business card this weekend when I went and got fitted for golf clubs.
Oh, poker chip?
Yeah, of course it's not gonna be. There it is.
Yeah, man, when you make that kind of money, you can,
That's crazy.
yeah.
See that?
Bro, like I use Linktree. I got all my shit set up on Linktree.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I use Linktree too. But you know what I did come across the other day when I went over? Actually, I was at Gensberger's house, like probably like last month or something like that. He had a cookout. Actually 4th of July cookout. You know, I met this guy over there, and he does a lot of I guess you could say he goes to a lot of grand openings, and he does a lot of charity work and nonprofit work. And he introduced me to this card. It's a just a regular card, and it says dot on it, and he puts it to your phone.
Yeah,
And then
RFID card.
sure, that
Yeah.
it was just like I don't know. I don't know if it was black or blue. It was a color that he said you can order them all different colors.
So if you
So
set it up on your iPhone, you can actually take your two iPhones and touch them together face to face, and
yeah,
they'll
that
get my
sounds.
well, no, I got set up my Gov
You know what
phone.
that sounds, right? It sounds. I don't want to touch anything face to face. Let's get
But
there.
no, yeah, you just put the two iPhones together, and they'll get my name and number off my Gov phone.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
just now. What you're telling me right now is what I know. Did not know you can do all that. I just know I have a poker chip, and I won't throw this away because it's also a ball marker. But I've had people give me these regular cards, old school, and I chuck them after a while because I'm like, whatever. But this
No,
dude, I'm never gonna chuck it.
I've been thinking about getting one of those. I mean, the government buys me 500 business cards a quarter, so it's kind of hard to go on my own. But I mean, I'm getting crafty. I'll be honest. If you ever open up a ASFAB for Dummy books and you find a business card in it, you're
It's
welcome.
probably you.
That I'm not. I've never gone into Barnes and Noble with a stack of business card looking for that ASFAB for Dummies book and then slide it all in the middle somewhere.
Hey, that's pretty funny. Actually, that's pretty smart. Actually,
Bro, I
just
leave
throw
them
that
in
in there.
Dude, I leave them in restaurants. I go sit down in a restaurant for lunch. I stick my little business card in the salt and pepper shaker.
So recruits treating you well, safe to say, right?
Yeah.
It's. I mean, overall, I mean, you're in Iowa. You probably wouldn't have thought about moving to Iowa.
Oh God, no.
No. So, um,
Come to
families
find out,
experience something new.
there's more than 10 people in corn here.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, unless you've been stationed there or someone sends you over there or you have business over there, you would never know certain places on the state, like the North and South Dakotas type things.
Bro, I don't
You
do
would just
organized PT out here, so that's a win in my book.
I just actually just did my PT test the other day, ACFT. Um, but yeah, height and weight, all that cool stuff. I did it. I'm due in December, but I did it now because I didn't want to do it in December, so I just did it. But yeah, so yeah, I guess recruiters chewing you're good. I like it. So let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Pay raises.
Let's
Or
talk
lack
about pay
thereof.
raises or lack thereof. Yes. Let me share this screen because here's the thing. Back in, I think I've been following this since May. In May is when they first dropped the very first one that I saw, maybe end of April. But I reported it in May. And in May, I mean, so many things were happening in May. I'm talking about this, Milper about the step being taken away, promotions without the BLC. Like so many things came out. So many good Milper messages came out. Something about, I think it was reimbursement for travel, like businesses with spouses. Like if you PCS and you go to Atlanta, let's say for instance, or Georgia, and you have to get a business license there, then it changes. Like you don't have to pay for that cost, if you will.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So I've been reporting it since then, and the disappointment is freaking crazy. Like I'm super disappointed. So let me share the screen. Here's where we're gonna go by. Oh, not script, screen. 19. Here we go. So here we go. This is where we started. 19.5% raise for junior enlisted, approved by the House. Now, if you don't know about how bills are introduced and how it becomes a law, you would have been like, dang, we're getting a 19% pay raise, period. Because it's approved by the House, right? And when you think of House, you think of White House. The first thing, no one's thinking the House of Representatives, right?
Yeah.
So, and as I dive into this and I start reading, I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. It's not law. And even if it were to get law, it won't take into effect until January of 2025. So I reported it. You see it, 19.5 pay raise for junior enlisted soldiers approved by the House. And what that was is it was basically for all our junior soldiers, right? All our junior soldiers, which we know are E1 through E4. I mean, technically E1 through E6, if you think about it, because they're junior NCOs. I'm sorry, but they're all junior soldiers. But when you hit sergeant and staff sergeant, you're a junior NCO. So junior soldiers was the E1 through E6 mafia. I mean, E1 through E4 mafia. And here it goes right here where it says, but the bill will also give a E1 through E4 another 15%, right? Because every year we get this pay raise right here. Sometimes it's 3.5%, 4%. Now it's been up to 4.5%. Safe to say?
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, 4.5% all across the board. We know that's going to be law. Biden asked for that. He's going to get that. Then the House said, you know what? Let's give him another 15% on top because cost of living is out of control.
Because
Inflation,
E1 through E4 wasn't meeting the $15 an hour minimum federal pay.
they were they weren't and still aren't.
Yep.
They're actively not meeting it. And I actually read something somewhere else, and I think it's on the other article, that E1 through E4, so our junior soldiers are having issues even just keeping up with the food pricing, right? So you're telling me that we're trying to put this into law, and you have your own, what is it called? You have your own entity that's going to do this, that they're going to do the analysis, if you will. And then all of a sudden, the White House says, hold on, we have a counter offer. And you'd be like, all right, cool, it's a counter offer. It can't be that bad, right? I mean, you're not trying to screw your soldiers.
Shoot the messenger.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. And then down here, it also talks about the dilapidated barracks. That's the word that they use, dilapidated, right? Which means all jacked up. And it says that in recent years, military services have funded facility sustainment in about 80% what's actually needed. Lawmaker says so. When they say, "Hey, we're gonna fix these barracks," if it costs $100, they only give an 80. So everything else has to come out of the budget, our budget, which is crazy, right? Because
That's why I didn't know that till now. That's wild.
yeah, it's even. I think it's just as low or even lower, or BH is even lower of what the cost of living for houses that they give you versus the market rent. So that was also another initiative under that. And then they say focusing on making sure our armed services reflect diversity in the country that protects it, and that the officer corps reflects diversity in the country that protects it, makes us stronger and makes us safer. So now you start thinking like, hold on. So you're talking about pay raises. However, we're talking about diversity. But let's not go there just yet. And that's the end of that. Oh, shout out to Rebecca Keel, man. She's been the one covering it the whole time. And if it wasn't because of her, I wouldn't know. And then we have, let's open this in a new tab. This one came out May 13th. So this one was May 24th. This was May 13th, which was the initial boom, the very first one. We're not going to go into that. Now we're here. Now we
start falling off the rails.
Correct. Let me get to that one right there. Boom. It's like watching the stock market just.
Oh yeah, that was rough.
5.2 pay raise in 2024 gets support as debt ceiling fight subsides. Debt ceiling fight subside. Just going to go on a personal rant. So because we're also soldiers, right? But our junior soldiers come in. Yes, they're inexperienced. Yes, you have to train them. Yes, they're learning a lot. And yes, if you really think about it, for the skill that they have, they're probably not giving as much. And that would be okay to say if the outside market, Chick-fil-A by itself, who gets off on Sundays, are paying $19 an hour over here. Walmart, $19 an hour. Quick Start, or is it quick something? Quick start, I think it is. Quick $18 an hour. Target. Like all these small places, even Starbucks is paying a good amount of money an hour. And on top of that, they have like these little school options,
Well, I
right?
like how every other federal employee gets held to the $15 an hour minimum, but us.
It's I haven't even put this out on TikTok yet because I know it's gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? Anytime I put something out with the pay raise, it does really well. But this one I think is gonna spiral. I think it's gonna Ukraine is gonna come out. Unappreciation of soldiers is gonna come out. Like there's gonna be so much animosity, and rightfully so. Rightfully so, because at the end of the day, how much are how much are we worth? I think when they did the summit, it said that we were making a fresh E1 or E1 or E2, E1 for sure. Fresh E1 with less than 2 years of service is making like $11 an hour.
I don't even think it's that high.
And that's not to count time away from your family.
Well, yeah, that's just assuming we're working a 40-hour work week,
There we go. Thank you. Hold on, I got it.
which anybody that's ever done this for more than 3.5 seconds knows that there's no such thing as a 40-hour work week. I called
Nope.
it. I called it.
Huh?
I called it.
What?
You're going to sit back down.
I did. Something's going on. I don't know why I think I unplugged it. Hold on, I'll be right back.
We got technical difficulties. But yeah, I mean that to cover down for it. But yeah, so they're saying we make $11 an hour, and that's built off a 40-hour work week, which is standard for every other government employee, but the military. There's bro, I don't work a 40-hour work week as a recruiter.
As a recruiter,
Heck no.
how much are you working?
During the summer, yeah, like the summer months, yeah, it's pretty easy to make it a 40-hour work week. Once the school year starts, like, yeah, we open the office at 9. These schools start at 8:30. Excuse me. So, in order to be, at a classroom presentation at 8:30, some of these schools are an hour and a half away.
Ah, yeah.
So you're leaving 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning
Mm-hmm.
to drive out to school, to sit there and talk to students all day, then an hour and a half drive in the office. I have to capture all that data of all these students and what I did in that school, plus work on building packets for people to join the Army, right? So it's when the school year's in swing, it's not uncommon to start at 6:30 in the morning, go till 5:30, 6:30 at night, right? Because like I have to do my 4 hours of prospecting a day. Like, yeah, sometimes classroom presentations eat that up. Sometimes they don't. Maybe I only get 2 hours of face-to-face prospecting in a classroom presentation. Well, I still got to drive 2 hours back,
On top of that,
do what I need to do to capture the data of what I did in the classroom, and then do another 2 hours of prospecting, plus all the admin stuff I got to do, building packets, right? So it can really quickly turn into a 10, 11-hour day.
and you're recruiting,
Yeah.
So any field time for you?
No.
NTC,
Nope.
um, deployment,
Nope.
and still away from your family a good 70% of the time, if not more.
Yeah.
Right? And I get it. Like there's a budget. I get that there's I
Well, they
get
act
that
like, oh,
there's
it's budget issues. It's like, bro, we're about to write the budget for next year. You could just pencil this in. Like,
yeah, I think it would come up to 25 million billion million 25 billion to give us that raise over the next 4 years because it's a I think it was like yeah, it would take 4 years. I had the article where it talks about it, the reason why they're not giving it to us. So I was like, okay, cool, I get it. It's gonna come. I'm trying to find it. It's gonna cost some money, but in the grand scheme of things, you know,
I mean,
like
but on the flip side, they also want to complain, oh, we're in a recruiting crisis. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to compete with Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, Walmart.
yeah,
Because I mean, at the end of the day, they're always gonna pull the card. Well, your benefits package, you get the benefits. I mean, I don't know, man. Walmart offers some pretty good benefits.
that and that's why I brought up Starbucks earlier with the paying for college courses
Yeah,
for school. You go work. What are they called? Like Goodyear or um, somewhere where you need a technical trade. A lot of these places are paying for that trade, coming out making 30 something dollars an hour,
yeah.
$25 an hour.
Plus
So
benefits.
on top of that, plus benefits. So now the benefit conversation kind of like the benefit kind of goes away.
Yeah,
It kind of washes out. And I get to go home at night after my 8 to 12 hour shift, depends on what I want to work.
yeah. I mean, and two, right? Like, I totally derailed my train of thought there, but yeah, it's the benefit. Like a decade ago, yeah, nobody could beat the DoD on benefits, but their corporation's getting close. They're getting pretty freaking close.
Yeah. Shit. Like I said, a lot of these places, you can go work for them and they'll pay you for their, for just to get the certs.
One of the big lineman companies around here, that one of the big electrical companies, sign a 5-year contract with them. They run you through their apprenticeship. Starts out at $68,000 a year
Mm-hmm.
off the grip. Guaranteed pay raises tapping out at like $98,000 a year by year 5, and you don't owe them a dime.
Not at all. Trying to find. Here it goes right here. Let me show it. There it goes. So actually, they just did a report the other day. Let me just show the window. Is it the window? Where is it at? Which one is this? Here it is. Yeah, 5.5%. So here's where it says this actually was released August 1st. I have yet to read this. I found this just now. But it talks about the 25 million right here, despite the fact that the Senate Arms Committee busts the budget cap by 25 million. Senate
Billion.
says the committee is reaching a bipartisan agreement of 21 million in emergency defense funding above caps. Yet we can't get our soldiers cannot get it. Like where are we at? Like where are we at with this? You know what I mean? Let's see. House.
I think we're forgetting about the one fundamental thing that makes the whole Department of Defense go is the people.
Which people though?
All the people.
Because obviously it's not us apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find it. But yeah, either way, it's like where at what point do we at what point are we gonna get a good raise for our soldiers? It's just baffling. It's baffling how they just. I mean, well. We didn't get a raise, but as of August 1st, tuition assistance is going to be pushing out more money.
Oh, it came back to me. E1 through E6, 40% of the E1 through E6 population suffer from food insecurities.
That's the article that I'm talking about. Food insecurities. That struck it exactly what it is. Yep. 41%. 40 what?
40% of the E1 through E6 population suffer from food insecurities.
4 out of 6 soldiers don't know how they're going to eat, pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, we talk about 4.5%, 5.2%, and not even a 5.5%. What did it say? 5, yeah, 5.5. funding.
I mean, just to do the flip side of this, 2024 inflation.
I think we were at like 8 or 9% of inflation. I might be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think we were at like 8 or 9%.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing, about 8 or 9%. Like it's, I mean, I like not this ain't a COVID conspiracy theory, but I mean, I remember what I was paying for food prior to COVID, post
Mm-hmm.
COVID, and it's done nothing but gone up. I mean, food prices, fuel prices are a good or a good indicator of the state of the economy. I feel, because they're common everyday items, and it's just prices are skyrocketing.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I thought gas did go down for a little bit.
Yeah, and then it went right back up
Then
to,
went right back up. It was like psych.
yeah, 310 a gallon up here.
310 a gallon. Shit, in California, it's fucking ridiculous too. Uh, but yeah, let's look at let's see what this 5.2 troop raise talks about. There we go. Capitol Hill is turning attention to the 5.2 pay bump troops are slated to get next year after lawmakers struck a deal to avert default on U.S. debts that capped government spending. To avert default. So if we pay the soldiers, what you're telling me is that we're going to default. That pay raise, not anything else that we have going on. You know what? Let me clean my forehead. I'm getting a little. It's the pay raise that's going to do it. It's not anything else. And I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's not anything else that we're spending money on. It's the pay raise.
It's not all in brand new tanks we've been buying.
Fair enough.
Not that I'm complaining about brand new tanks, because
Yeah, I was about to say you're a Bradley guy, so well, I did figure out the other day with you that the Bradleys all came with the AC vest on. With the AC vest. Didn't know that.
the new ones, new
Yeah.
ones got it.
Yeah, apparently the new ones. Yeah, so we got that.
It's almost like they tried that in early GWAT and it didn't work. But hey, whatever.
Dude.
We'll try it again.
Yeah, we're gonna do it again. It's not like trying it again, buying more shit.
At least someone's thinking about me. If it doesn't work, it's the thought that matters.
Is it the thought that counts? So I guess it's the thought that counts that they were gonna give us 19.5%, but now we're down to 5.5%.
Okay. At least someone was thinking about us, all right? I'm trying to spin this in a positive light.
Hey, I get it because the house wanted us.
I mean, hey, at the end of the day, right? To like not this be a negative, an entirely negative connotation about it. The thought's there, right? People are thinking about this, and not to just say we're complaining just to complain, but it's like we influence change, right? Like we're uniformed service members. We still have representatives that support us, right? Like if you're really buck wild about getting this 19.5% pay raise, write your representatives, right? Like tell these people that are supposed to represent you that this 19% pay raise matters. And that's coming from somebody that didn't get affected by shit. Like, oh, cool, I got 5.2% pay raise. Like, I wasn't getting it. You weren't getting the pay raise.
Nope.
But I'm still going to write my representatives like, yo, this is, in a lack of better terms, like, hey, this is bullshit. You ain't going to give us a pay raise. Because, I mean, the junior soldiers deserve it. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, right, there's no argument about, oh, well, they don't offer much. Like, yeah, man. Every single one of us senior NCOs and senior NCOs were a dumbass private at some point that didn't know. I can't say what I want to say, but if you know, you know, right?
Yeah.
But they're still stepping up to be that less than 1% of society that is willing to toe the line and defend the nation. So, I mean, the least you can do is at least a 5% pay bump, which it sounds like we're getting, which I'm going to be honest, I'm ecstatic about a 5.2% pay increase because, I don't know, let me math this real quick.
Well, no, hold on. So The pay raise is 4.5 across the board. Everybody gets it.
Okay, so let's math this.
So
E6.
hold on. So Joe is only getting 1% versus the 15% that they offered before. Because the 19.5 was including the 4.5. Because obviously it's media and they have to make it sound the best.
So E6 at 12 years, right? We'll round it up to 5% because numbers are hard.
Yeah.
You know, E6 12 years, I make 46.50 a month. We'll round up that 30 cents, right? So that's $465 a month. Pay bump, or if it's 10%, so smack that in five. That's still $200 a month. I mean, I'm not saying it's insignificant, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
$200 a month pay bump, like that's
Enough for me. I'll take it.
yeah. I mean, that's damn near one trip to the grocery store.
There we go. Now we're talking. See, you see what I mean? Because if you use your money wisely, you can get something out of it. That's the thing. Even if you know what, the heck with it. Even if you don't use it wisely, you can still get something out of it. Like you got some money, extra money to blow if you blow money. You got extra
Yeah,
money to invest if you invest money. You got extra money to take the family out. You got extra money to put away. Whatever it is, you have extra. It's $200 extra dollars. Well, you tax that about, well, I don't know, 12.5% of what we do. So you're going to get about 188, 185 of that. You can put that on top of your car payment if you have one. Whatever. Who
because I'll
cares?
tell you, it's wild being out here in the recruiting environment because I don't have access to half the things you do, right? Like I don't get on post childcare that's heavily subsidized, right? Bro, when I got here, we're looking at $1,000 a month for daycare.
Man, daycare is another racket.
But you know, I mean, I'm not saying that it's. I don't know how we're like. I'm not saying like at the end of the day, how people spend their money is how people spend their money. But at the end of the day, right? Because I have this conversation on a daily basis, right? It's a hard sell on a kid, 18-year-old kid, telling him he's going to join the military and go fight the nation's wars for
For
2007
$11 an hour.
$2,017 a month. Or let's be honest, they're probably E3 by the time they get to their unit. So 2377 a month.
So if they're single, they're clearing 2,000, 1,900 maybe.
About 19, about 850 a paycheck.
850 a paycheck. Well, to be fair, to be fair, to be fair on that, just overall across the board, to be fair, me at 19 years old, 18 years old, all I need is internet, a phone, and and in the army. I'm talking about in the army. I can't think of another expense that you need.
Car.
You don't. Okay, you don't really need it, but yeah, you know what? This is America. Everywhere, like when I was in Germany, you can take a freaking bus, whatever it is, however you want to do it. But yeah,
Is
okay,
a soldier stationed in the continental U.S. You need a car.
let's give that to you. You
Yeah.
need a car, and I acknowledge that. That's true. Here in Texas, you need a freaking car. So smart soldier, probably max out everything. I'm talking about insurance, car, because obviously his insurance is going to be through the roof. $500 towards that. I'm talking about a very nice, subtle $300 payment car, a couple hundred for
I want to
insurance.
know where you're getting a $300 payment car with 7.5% interest rates.
I mean, you're gonna buy a $10,000 car and you're gonna fucking finance a $10,000 car, $11,000 car. I mean, and then you have to have gas. You're gonna have to add gas. So let's say 650 a month, 700. So that's one paycheck already. You have the car because you with the car, and I made a podcast about this. People always focus on the payment. They never talk about insurance. They never talk about gas. They never talk about maintenance. So if you factor all that in, plus your phone, plus your internet, you're probably at the first paycheck already.
Oh
Capped
yeah,
out.
easy.
Easy. So you're working for, well, you're not working for one paycheck, but with lively decisions, you're forced to look at only one paycheck. And $800 is enough to for 18-year-old to 22-year-old maybe to just get by and live a very humble life.
Well, I'll tell you this from the recruiting side, right? Like it's a competitive market. We're not the only one chomping at a bitch for 18 or chomping at the bit, whatever. We're going to ignore
Yeah,
that
well,
typo.
you're
Chomping at
good.
the bit for 18-year-old kids, right?
True.
Electric companies are chomping at the bit for them. Labor jobs are chomping at the bit for them, right? Colleges are chomping at the bit for them. Like it's a competitive market out there. Like
And you know what?
everybody's go for it.
You know what? Also, I was told, like when you go through like tabs, you're getting out, and you got all those recruiters and stuff like that. They're really looking for the younger ones too.
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, got it. You're older and you're more seasoned, whatever. But in reality, they want those young cats. So it don't matter where you are. I acknowledge what you're saying. You at a younger age, you're way more moldable in the work environment. So I
Well,
understand.
you have longevity, right?
Hmm.
You have longevity, and that's what everybody's looking for, right?
Yeah, that
Um,
longevity word.
because I mean, like let's be honest, like it's that's what everybody wants. Nobody wants a 2 year guy, right? I mean, like even the power company, they're looking for minimum 5 years out of you,
Yeah,
and at that point that puts you 23, 24, and that's really at that point like you're kind of saddling into the category of settling down in a job that you're going to do long term if you're smart.
true.
If you're thinking about your future, by the time you're in your mid 20s, like the job hunting's over, right? Even coming out of college, like you're not bouncing around from job to job. You're like, what's going to pay me that $85,000 a year consistently, day in day out? I'm gonna put in my 40, go home. I'm gonna make my 85,000. I got the 401k, right? I'm putting it away. I'm building a life.
Yep. And on top of that, you're making way more money. Like before I came in the army, I was a pipe fitter, and I worked for a company called Northrop Grumman Newport News, and they were in Newport News, Virginia. And I got in there. I think this is 2004. So I think I was making like starting off like 15. I left around 17 something an hour, almost 18. And that was in a 3 year span. The difference is my first year, I only got like 4 days, 3 days of accrued leave. My third year, I only got a week of accrued leave that I
Yeah,
was in. And I maxed that out the next day. As soon as I hit my anniversary, I maxed that thing out. You know what I mean? So at
yeah.
least in the army, they're not going to pay you, but you're going to get 30 days leave guaranteed. And you get to take your family everywhere. If the kid has an appointment, you're able to go. Don't have to use a leave day, PTDO, none of that stuff. Sick day. Spouse not feeling good at home, you can go. Whatever. There's a bunch of
Bro,
hidden benefits,
I mean it.
but the
You
pay,
know how
man,
nice it is to know that if I stay home tomorrow to take care of my sick son, I still get paid.
100%.
Like I'm gonna get on my recruiting pedestal for a minute, right?
So
Like, yeah, my wife could. It's a lot easier for my wife to stay home and take care of the kid, but I don't know. She makes $16 an hour times eight. I don't know, like $100 a day, whatever. I can't math for shit. 80,
mhm,
$100 a day. She stays home, bro. That's $100 bill out of her pocket. I
correct.
stay home with a sick kid, and my base pay don't go down.
Nope. You just don't get paid a lot of it.
Yeah, I don't
You
get
know what I
paid a
mean?
lot of it in the first place. So
So actually, I was looking at you see what I have highlighted on the screen, right? It
yeah,
says, meanwhile, 20% of service members face food insecurities, and chronic unemployment and underemployment of military spouses compounds the financial difficulties service members and their families face. The letter. This is a letter that was written. We cannot afford to make budgetary trade-offs that negatively impact those in uniform. So the 41%, which is what I saw as well, it in this article reads down to 24%, and that's a letter written, right? And they kind of they downplayed that. They actually swapped the numbers around.
Yeah.
42%, 24%. You know what I mean? And then the last sentence is what kills me. We cannot afford to make budgetary trade-offs that negatively impact those in uniform.
I'm sorry. I hope everybody heard me roll my eyes real hard.
You know, you know what I mean? Like I think you're making the budgetary trade-off already.
Yeah.
You're not giving it to them.
Well, these are also the same people going, why ain't nobody joining army?
Yeah. Oh shoot. I gotta did you see the whole the rock thing that they got going on? The $11 million that they paid the rock?
We ain't going to, nope. No comment.
You, yeah, that's your people's. 11
No,
mil. And they
no,
and now they're trying to get that money back.
no comment.
Oh, you know what? I'll entertain it. Yo, 11 mil. Hold on, where's it at? There we go. Here we are. Look at that smile. Look at the smile on that face. That's that got him smile.
Hey,
I'm
it's
dead, dude. You can't say that that's not freaking priceless. The Army bet 11 mil on the Rock and the UFL ginning up enlistment. It
well,
may
it's
have
because
actually hurt recruiting efforts.
so I'm still trying to figure out that second part, right? Like how does that hurt?
It says I read it earlier. Well, a couple days ago. They're not likely. Here it goes. The high. Oh, I can look at the screen. The high dollar, high profile deal likely didn't lead to a single new army recruit and may have possibly been a negative impact on finding new
Well,
enlistment.
because so here's a funny thing, right? So 2024, the amount of people that watch professional sports is down 20%.
Yep.
Like I'm not trying to be critical of army leaders, right? Because when it comes to recruiting, it's all about shooting your shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not everything I do is paid off, right? And you're talking to somebody that in total sent uh over 350,000 emails last year through our EMM marketing team, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got not a not a goddamn thing. Big old fucking goose eggs, right? Because I mean, I'm targeting college students, college seniors, which at that point, like, it's a crapshoot anyway, because they just went to Iowa State University for 4 years, get some Billy Badass degree, and it's like, hey man, you want to go be infantryman in the army? Um, but it's I'm not mad at them for shooting their shot, but it's bro, we could have used some of that 11 million elsewhere.
So let's read this. It says more importantly, the deal included Johnson, a global superstar and owner of the league, because he has a league, right? Who was supposed to serve as the pseudo brand ambassador for the Army. Though the services said he did not fulfill his end of the bargain to publish a specific number of service related posts on his social media account. He hornswoggled them. He was like, yo, I'm going to post this 30 posts in a month, maybe, I don't know, X amount of posts. And that's going to leave. Oh, man, he didn't do it. He started doing like two or three and said, you know what? I'm cool on this. Let them come
To be
after this
fair,
money.
it's not his fault, right? He has a social media team.
And they did not deliver.
They didn't.
The Army, the news comes amidst of the armies of a midst of a historic recruiting crisis that has been particularly worsened by service struggling to navigate modern market trends. Jesus Christ. Most of his efforts are still geared towards funneling money into cable TV style ads and marketing deals with other traditional television broadcasts such as sports, and even as Gen Z's media diet has left most of these old school mediums behind, meaning that he's still using old school methods of trying to run ads, even though Facebook ad will probably run him a lot more money than whatever commercials that he's doing. Because I'm not, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna cancel it tomorrow. But I have the cable and internet together. I don't watch TV
No.
ever.
Why when I can get on Netflix and watch exactly what I fucking want when I want it?
No ads, no nothing.
You know what still works though? Goddamn billboards.
Yep.
Fuck the Marine Corps.
What, they buy up all the billboards down there in Iowa?
I drive past one every time I head out west. Big old Marine Corps billboard.
Hold on. Let's read some more because this is crazy. The UFL deal was so catastrophic it led to a projected loss of 38 enlistments. An internal review of plans showed that's crazy work. Crazy work. So you're telling me I get, because it has to be hands down that The Rock is like a mega star. No one can refute it. No one can say, "Oh, nothing." He was liked in the WWE. He was liked as an actor, and he's liked now as a UFL ambassador, whatever it is that he's doing. That he has his money in. People just like him.
Yeah, I mean he's still like he's still influenced. I mean it's
If he ran for president, he would win.
nah.
If he ran for president, Dwayne the Rock Johnson will win if he ran for president. You know what? Yes. Yep. I'd stamp it right here. I wouldn't put it past him for running in the next 4 years after Trump wins.
I'm running for president after Trump wins.
I'm After this, we all can run.
I'm number 48.
So in total, the Army wants to recoup 6 million of the UFL. Documents show 6 million. They're not getting that back. He hornswoggled them. That's it. It's a wrap.
I don't know though. They might get it back.
So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It was a good run. It was a good run. We went from potentially getting 19.5% total for junior enlisted, 15% of actual pay raise for just junior enlisted, 4.5 for across the board, everyone, and to include you and me, to 5.5% for junior enlisted, which is 1% for them and 4.5 for everyone else. That's
We're on the board. People are thinking about us now. That's a big takeaway.
fair enough. I mean,
People are thinking about us.
It is safe to say that they are, because the CBO, right, the Congress Budgeting Office, they meet up 3 times a year to talk about this, which is actually, we should do a podcast about the VA benefits. That'd be a good one. I put that out. I actually did a podcast episode. I mean, we should do a live about it. I did a podcast episode. It dropped it on YouTube. It did pretty decent for like the first few days for the channel. You know what I mean? For what is decent for us over here. But yeah, we should talk about that because there's a lot of things going on in the background. Out of the 9, I think 9 or 11, I can't remember which one it is. I think it's 9 total proposals that they did years ago. 2 of them were really bad. But yeah, they're thinking about us. You're right. But it went from 19.5 to 15.5 to 5.5.
We're moving in the right direction.
I mean, you know what? Any raise is good. Any raise is good. So we have to give it to them on that. Just giving us a raise is cool, but at the same time, when our biggest leaders are having summits about how the pay scale is not, the bubble's not level for our junior soldiers, that causes a concern and it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed immediately. Soldiers don't live in good conditions in the barracks. Soldiers don't get paid enough. We're talking about junior soldiers, and soldiers don't have they don't get. They're not getting a bang for their buck, man. That's it.
No, it's the military system in whole is antiquated, but we're getting there. We're catching up.
One day. All right. Any final words?
No, that's about it. I mean, I really ain't got much to touch on that. I think we've kicked that horse until it's died.
Yeah, we kicked it a little bit. We did about almost an hour on that one. I think it needs to be talked about because it's just a big slap in the face to go that far down. But you know what? If I keep going, I'm gonna keep going. All right, guys. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe, all that cool stuff. If you have an idea, want to be on the show, questions, comments, concerns, you can always email me at rogersarnt@gmail.com. If you want to check out my social medias, click on the link tree. It'll be in the description. Click on the link tree and you can see everything that's going on there. As for Bruner, what do you have, Bruner? Where can they reach you at?
GoArmy.com.
GoArmy.com. He'll put your ass in the Army. Easy money.
Oh, shout out to Chief Andy because he's blowing up my phone. Text me on Signal. I tried to blink 69 times in a row, buddy. I'm reading your messages. But that I lost count. I lost count.
Shout out to Chief Andy. All right, brother. Appreciate it stopping by as always, right?
Yep.
And
We'll see everybody.
We'll see you guys. And always remember, you don't have to embrace the suck if you got the right tools in your ruck. I'm Sarnt Cruz. That's Sarnt Bruner, and we're out. Peace.